Today I'm looking at end credits. As I drink my water here. So, end credits have been something that once I got into doing, I have a lot of fun doing them, and let's give a sample. I edit a lot of sermons, so that's for my local church, so that's why the example is going to be this, but just bear with me. Here we go. Okay, and now that's all set up for a very nice little thing. Wait, here's a kind of a breakdown of what it looks like. And in here we have a video, and if I were to put a video in there, let me create one really quick. Black video, and we will call it that, and then I'll put it in. If I remember right, this goes something like just to give you an idea. Now we have to bring it down, so I'll say okay, that's not gonna work. Let's reset them when all else fails. Okay, so we'll scale it down to about 50, and then we'll drag it over to the edge over here, and we'll make it go down. Okay, that's what that's set up for. So everything flows nicely around that, and and then we have, you know, a little bit of information here, and the idea was to have the credits tucked nicely underneath. So that's the end. I'm going to try to make something very much like this with different names, of course, from scratch. And okay, so let's get started with that. The first thing I want to start with is the actual credits roll, because that was the first thing that I learned. And if we take a look at the credits roll, it's just basically this. So you got your this doesn't seem to want to respond here. Let me use this. Okay, it's just names scrolling, and that's it. That's the most basic end credits that you can do. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to create a new sequence, and we'll just call this end credits. Can't spell here. Credits remake. Okay. Alright, so we'll create that. I have all the elements that I need to create it over here. So, but what I want to start with is, of course, the actual end credits. So I'm going to create a new one here, and we'll call this credit test. Okay. And one thing I'm going to do really quick here, I'm going to create a couple bins, and we'll say, well, I don't want them inside of each other. Okay, so we'll say, we'll get very creative and name one old credits. Credits, yes. And we'll name the other one new credits. Yes, very creative. Okay, so I'm going to take this and this, and not that, this, and this, and this, and that. And I'm going to put them all in the old credits, and then we'll collapse that so we have a little bit of room. And then, okay, I'll keep that here, and I guess I will go ahead. Yeah, well, well, we're not going to worry too much about these images just yet. So we'll go ahead and put them in new credits just for the fun of it. And we'll go ahead and put that in old credits, and remake and credit test go into new credits. Okay, all nice and cleaned up, right? So, and if we wanted to, we could say images. We could take the pictures, well, just the pictures, put them in here, make it a little bit more. I'll go ahead and put the video in there just for the sake of simplifying what we're seeing here. Okay. All right. So I'm going to do this, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually I need to create one from scratch because that one was just like that. So the way you do end credits is how I learned it. There's probably a couple other ways of doing it. So you go to title inside of Premiere and new title and default role. Okay. And we're in high definition, so these settings apply. And we'll call this credits. Dist. Why do I keep spelling dist? Credits remake. Okay. Remake, not remake. Okay. Now you'll create something like this. Actually, you can click anywhere here like that, and now it has a place for you to type. Now what you want to do is you can just start typing in here and say director so and so, and just do it like that. But the way I like to do it is to actually compile the list in something like Notepad, because there's zero formatting in Notepad, so you won't have to be dealing with any for weird formatting. So you'll come here and you'll create, now just threw in some random names. So if these are the names of anyone, that's kind of unintentional. Like, so, well, there's my own name there, so that one's real. But anyway, and okay, so I just copied that, and then I come in here and we're going to do center, and it will paste. Okay, so now we have the end credits, and you can see that they work like this. Now we can take a look at these end credits really quick. Let's put them in the timeline, and we see that they roll, and they roll nicely. But you'll notice that they kind of start in the middle of the screen. Now here's another thing really quick. You can slow it down by doing that. So now end credits don't normally move that slow. So we'll just go like that. And that's a little more natural for end credits. Okay. So, but you'll notice it starts in the middle of the screen, and we don't really want it to start in the middle of the screen because that's just, we want it to start off screen, like down here, and then go up. So the way we deal with that is we come over here to this button, roll crawl options, and we say start off screen and end off screen. Okay. Now we'll come back to it, and we will see that it starts off screen, and it does it very nicely. It also appears to be a little bit faster, so I may want to slow it down a bit. There we go. Okay, so that is how you make basic end credits, and you can do this for just about anything. I started doing this on my YouTube videos. I don't so much now because they aren't really studio productions, but anyway, so that's basically, like I said, how I make end credits anyway. There are probably some other ways, but I found this to be the simplest and best way for me.